What do you think about this debt?
It's terrible.
It's frustrating and sad, and it makes me want to cry and scream and fight.
Are you angry?
I'm angry at Michael. I'm angry at myself.
My relationship with money is not a good relationship.
He's at a point now where he should be able to retire, but he can't.
I don't think I've ever planned anything in my life.
I don't want to work till I'm 75. I also want us to be able to travel and live our rich lives. At this age, I thought we'd already be there.
Do you believe that you'll die with your debt?
It's going to be a stretch.
There was one time where I considered taking my purse and my keys and walking out. I'm at my wit's end. I don't want to keep doing this.
Imagine making great money, but still being in debt. Where's the money going? Why are we in this situation? Why do we feel trapped by our debt? Today, we're going to dive into a story that is very familiar for millions of couples. High income, high stress, and no real plan. Listen to this line from the application. He has run up credit cards buying electronics. He has little to no retirement saved, and we make way too much to be so stressed about money. I do not know how much longer I can keep doing this. When I see phrases like, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this, that is a sign the stakes are very high. Today, I'm speaking with Imani, 52 years old, and Michael, who is 65. They've been married for 24 years, but they have not spent a single one of those years aligned about money. What's interesting is that they've worked with money coaches in the past, yet they keep finding themselves stuck in the same cycle. Michael overspending and avoiding, and Imani trying to take control of their finances. I'm about to look at their numbers, but first I want to hear from you. When was the last time you were not on the same page with your partner? And tell me the specifics. I want to see them in the comments. I read every one. Was it not agreeing where to eat out or how much you should keep in your checking account? Let me know in the comments the last time you were not on the same page with your finances. Now, I'm looking at their conscious spending plan, which breaks down their key numbers, including their net worth, income, and where they spend their money. It's the same tool I use in every episode. Assets, $603,315. Investments, $770,000. Keep in mind, Michael is 65 years old, already at retirement age. Savings, $8,523. Debt, $601,000, and over $100,000 of that debt is high interest debt. Net worth, $780,000. All of this is raising a lot of questions. So let's get started with Imani and Michael. When my wife and I were planning our honeymoon, we decided we wanted to invite our parents for the first leg of our trip. Wanted to have fun with them, experience something together, and then we wanted to send them on their way. We decided to take them all to Italy, and we mapped out exactly how we wanted everybody to feel. We wanted them to feel a sense of awe, visiting beautiful churches for my mother-in-law. We wanted relaxed downtime for my parents, and I personally wanted a hands-on, tactile cooking class for all of us to do together. We had a vision and we built that trip around it. And I got to tell you, I did not want to do the normal trip where you just book flights, book a hotel, get there, and then look around and just try to figure out what to do. No, I don't want to end up walking around some random city to end up at a random museum. My time is too important to land in a city and then go to Expedia.com to find the most popular sites. I want magical memories that are personalized for my family and me. I want to see things that are going to change our lives. I want to take a food tour and see beautiful design because I love architecture and textiles, and I want it to be relaxing. If you want these kind of trips and you want to personalize them for your interests, then I want to show you behind the scenes of how I plan incredible trips. On November 20th, at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to walk you through how I plan vacations that are part of my rich life. You're going to walk away with real numbers to book magical trips. You're going to understand where to cut and where to spend more. And I'm going to give you word-for-word emails that celebrities send to hotels and restaurants before they arrive, just to give you a peek behind the curtain of how high-end travel is done. Don't miss it. This event is free for my money coaching members, which you can join right here at iwt.com/moneycoaching. Imani, you mentioned in your application that you've been married for 24 years, and you said something that really caught my eye. You said, I want to separate our finances. In fact, I am so upset that I suggested we combine them 4 years ago. Why do you feel that way?
I feel like we spoke better or related better when the finances weren't combined. I feel like we are both like all in the account all the time. Like it'll be like, well, why is there a $7.95 charge? And he'll ask me, well, did you go to the spa? You know what I mean? Like part of it is taking away the autonomy of the other person. And so it feels like I'm monitoring an adult. That's not fair for me to try to be his mother. Originally, we did have separate accounts, and then we had a joint account for bills. About 4 years ago, I was like, we just need all the paychecks to go into one account, and that way we can monitor and get control over our finances. And then what I saw was out of control, and so it stressed me out.
Wow. Okay, I have lots to unpack there. Michael, what's your reaction to what Imani just said?
It seemed to be less complicated when they were separate because it was always like, well, I know certain things have to be taken care of, so I can't spend somewhere else. So I had to make sure that the money was there. When it became a joint account, it's like, well, yeah, I can go here and buy this and buy that because there's money in the account.
Would you say that when you combined your accounts that the spending got sloppy?
Very, very sloppy.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So, I mean, just to ask the obvious question, why don't you just separate it?
We've discussed that, separating it, but we didn't come up with a concrete plan as far as when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's still on the table to separate your finances.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when you talk about when you hear about marriages, right? It's like it's supposed to be a coming together, and you're supposed to have things together. And I have friends who have joint accounts, and everything goes well. And with us,
yeah,
it is not.
Yeah, and of course, you know, if you were to separate your finances, I suspect things would not magically fix themselves.
No.
I suspect it would open up a whole new can of worms because a lot of ways it's a symptom, probably. We'll figure that out a little bit more. So, Imani, you mentioned that sometimes Michael will say, he's looking at the expenses. He goes, did you go to the spa? What is the next sentence after that?
From him or from me?
You'll say, yes, I went to the spa, right? And then what does he say?
Nothing.
Oh, so it's just a question like, hey, did you go to the spa? Did you buy this thing? That's it?
Yeah. And it usually comes when I'm asking him about, did you go to Best Buy again?
Oh, okay. Let me flip that then. So you asked, did you go to Best Buy? And then, Michael, what do you say to that?
I said, yeah, I went to Best Buy.
Okay. And then?
And I kind of leave it there.
Okay. And then how do you respond? Why am I doing this? Just have the conversation in front of me. Go ahead. Imani?
What's this 152 at Best Buy?
I went to Best Buy to buy some SSD drives for my computer.
Did you need more SSD drives?
I needed one with more capacity, so I bought one that was on sale, and I got a bigger.
But don't you have like 10?
Yes, I do. Well, most of them are filled up with different documents and data. So.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, I know, but I'll get the money back in there.
How are you gonna get the money back in it? The budget is based on the budget.
Yeah.
You can't put the money back.
I'll make sure it gets back.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, that was quite interesting. What just happened in that conversation? Michael?
I would say that I probably deflected. I said that I was going to make sure the money get back into the account, but I didn't tell Imani how it was going to get back into the account.
I agree. And did you actually have a plan for how to get the money back in the account?
I had a good range of dates that I could put the money back.
Okay. And did the money get put back in the account?
I think it did.
What?
I can't say for sure.
What?
Right.
That doesn't sound like a plan to me.
I agree.
All right, fine. And then what else do you notice about the conversation, the chess pieces? What was each person's role in that conversation?
I felt like I was under a microscope.
That's an interesting metaphor. So if you're under a microscope, then what is Imani?
She is the investigator.
Oh, wow. That's powerful. Okay. So you have the investigator and the investigated in that example.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Imani, how about you? Zoom up, analyze it.
For me, it's frustration with Michael spending, particularly at Best Buy, right? And he told me that he needed more of something he already had. So it was my frustration at Michael for buying something that he already has multiples of that I don't see the need for, that wasn't in the budget. Here we go again, buying things in excess. And to me, there's no such thing as putting money back.
Okay. What would you say each person's role was?
I felt like the mama, the parent,
Okay.
honestly,
Yeah.
or the one who watches over the budget, and then you have Michael in the role of I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna spend and get what I want because I make money and I'm gonna spend it.
Is that true? I mean, he does make money.
He does.
So if he's making money, just out of curiosity, can he spend it on an SSD drive?
Sure. He could spend it on, but does he need 12 SSD drives?
I don't know. I don't particularly care either. I'm asking, is this a joint issue? Like, is it coming from joint money, or is it an individual issue? In which case, if he wants to spend it on garbage, he could spend it on garbage as far as I'm concerned. What do you think?
It's a joint. In my mind, it's a joint, right? Because we decided that we would each take a certain amount of cash out of the account, and he takes the cash out and spends the money out of the account.
Oh, wow.
That's my issue.
Okay, I got you. Can I tell you what I observed from your conversation, which I thought was very revealing? So many things happened in like 60 seconds. That's why I love seeing the actual conversations. First off, the fact that Imani, you were like, what's this charge? Like, already red flag number one for me. That one partner is looking over the other's shoulder. Not blaming you at all. I know that it happens in reverse as well. But if one person has to spend money unexpectedly from the joint account, it's their responsibility to actually bring it up. So that's already kind of like, that's an interesting thing. Next up, it kind of turned into like some kind of Inspector Gadget type of, like, Imani became the SSD investigator. Are you sure? How many terabytes are we talking about? I was like, I don't really think that's what we were going for here. I get the sense maybe like, I don't think you're an SSD investigator. And then we had Michael, who quickly was kind of like you could kind of see the tone, Michael. It was a bit of like a young boy who's got caught doing something. And it was like, yeah, I did go there. No further explanation. Just going to stop and hope that nobody pays attention. And then I'll put the money back. What's that? Again, it's a very boyish sort of answer. You know what I mean? We're talking about a grown man here.
Basically, that's how our conversation kind of go.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's why we're here too, because it's like the same conversation.
What we just saw play out was the parent-child dynamic, which in my opinion is one of the most toxic patterns in a relationship around money. In my new book, Money for Couples, I break down exactly why it is so toxic. Your partner is not a child. Treating them like one will never get them to act like an adult. The parent-child dynamic also creates resentment on both sides. The parent feels burdened and exhausted. The child feels controlled and infantilized. And this dynamic creates ripple effects. The dynamic almost never stays just in the financial realm. It seeps into other parts of the relationship. It erodes trust and intimacy. I even call it sexual kryptonite because it's very difficult to feel attracted to your partner when you feel like you are parenting them. If you cannot get on the same page with money, I recommend you pick up a copy of Money for Couples and use the word-for-word scripts in the book. It's also available as an audiobook. But let's zoom out now. This isn't just about roles or dynamics. There's also real numbers to consider. Michael is 65. They've amassed $600,000 in total debt, and $100K of that, over $100K, is consumer debt, like credit cards, personal loans, car loans. That type of debt typically carries higher interest rates, which means it can really snowball fast. We're going to untangle the specifics of their debt when we get to their conscious spending plan, but here's what I can already see. Imani has a strong need for control. It's actually no surprise that she's frustrated, maybe even fed up. Honestly, if I were in her situation, I would want control and I would be angry too. What's more surprising is that this debt is something she's been trying to get control over for years. She's worked with several money coaches, and yet nothing has changed. So what happened? Why didn't those approaches work? Okay, I understand that you have spoken to money coaches in the past. What was your experience with them?
We got, a system, and like an Excel file and a system of, set these things up, but the work to do to maintain them, I felt like I was doing most of the getting that done. We were supposed to set up like money dates, right? Like times where we come together and go over the finances. And the few times we did it, it was me at the computer, Michael sitting on the bed or on the counter or on the couch, and him looking up saying what you need, right, as opposed to us both being engaged and me going through numbers and then getting frustrated. So part of it is, I'll say, Michael, where are your numbers? We need to meet and go over budget. I'm gonna get the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for the numbers for the last 8 weeks. Until we did the conscious
Yeah.
spending plan, I have been waiting on the numbers for 2 months.
Very true. Very true.
This is a general pattern at home, Imani. Like you're driving things at home and you're pulling him along. Michael, what do you think?
I would say that I was more reactive than proactive. And I don't know that we ever set any rules, engagement on how we're going to, attack once we went through the counseling session. We never had any rules. So with not having any rules, if we didn't do something, a rule was broken, there were no consequences.
That's interesting. There were no consequences if the rules were broken. What would be an example of a rule being broken?
A rule would be like, okay, we're going to meet Wednesday at 6 p.m. and we're going to talk about how we're tracking our budget.
Yep. Are you generally reactive in life versus being proactive?
I would say in my professional life, I can't be reactive. I had to be proactive. When I'm at home, I kind of decompress and I don't have those same rules or restraints.
Do you think long term?
I do not.
Okay.
And Imani might find this surprising. I don't think I've ever planned anything in my life.
Tell me more. Imani's nodding. Tell me more, Michael. That's quite an admission.
It's kind of like I have a vision or I have an idea and I just kind of do it.
What does that mean?
There's no step. Well, I need to do this step first, and then I need to do this step second, or I need to do this step third. In my professional life, I do that. In my personal life, absolutely not.
Imani, would you agree?
Yes,
Okay. And how about for you?
I'm proactive everywhere.
Okay. All right. Would you agree with that, Michael?
Yes, definitely. With that said, it's kind of at the point where, I have to be proactive. I got to take action.
Or what?
Either she's going to say, oh, that's it, I had enough, or she's going to say, or she's just going to tune out and do her own thing.
24 years married.
Yeah.
Imani, would you agree? The stakes are pretty high.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't keep doing this. I refuse because, he's at the point now where he should be able to retire, but he can't because I cannot financially do all of this by myself, right? And I'm at the age, there's a pretty significant age difference between us. I'm at the age where I want to look at early retirement. Like he's already at retirement. Like I want to look at early retirement. I don't want to work till I'm 75. I don't want to do that. And I also want us to be able to travel and live our rich lives. And at this age, I thought we'd already be there, right? Like I feel like everything I'm behind. Like we're behind because, I know you're not supposed to look at other people and other people's lives, but we know too much to be in this situation. Like this is just dumb and frustrating, and I kick myself and I'm mad at myself because I feel like the loss of control got us here. Like growing up, I was known to be so cheap that I pinched the copper off a penny. That's what my mama used to say, right? Like I knew where everything was. I never went into debt and all of that stuff. And then, the last several years, it's just been out of control. And I'm so sad about it.
Okay.
Mm.
Are you angry?
Very.
Who are you angry at?
I'm angry at Michael. I'm angry at myself.
Can I ask like the tough question here? What makes both of you think that this time will be any different?
I'm hopeful that it'll be different because Michael has a tendency to listen to the other person advice, right? If it comes from me, I could say the exact same things that you're going to say, but he's not going to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
If you say them, he'll hear them. And Michael, please, I'm not trying to be like mean, but that's how it feels to me. It's like if the internet says it, or if you see it in a book, it could be the same thing that I already said.
Mm-hmm.
Who the listening to the people on the internet? Have you seen the comments I get? The first thing I do is I go, whatever you said, I'm doing the opposite of that.
Michael listens to the internet.
I take your point. Michael, why is that? You're nodding your head. Why is that?
Man, that's a tough one. You know, I spent some time in the armed forces. I spent a lot of time in the armed forces. For a long time, my life was very regimented. I knew I was going to be all the time, when, where, how, all of that. When I got out, that started to slip a little bit, where it's like, I've been living this rigid life. And so now I have some levity to kind of go to the left or to the right. Going, yeah, we tried that, and that didn't work. We tried this and this didn't work. So to your point, what's going to be different this time? For me, what's different this time, I see the effect on what this is having on their money as far as our finances.
What effect?
I can see that she's really stressed out about it.
Michael, do you ask Imani for advice on money ever?
I ask her for advice. I don't think so.
Yeah. Do you ever ask her for advice?
No. I can only speak for myself on this. My relationship with money has been, it's not a good relationship. It was something that was never discussed when I was growing up. Even when I was in the military, I was making a steady income. It's just something that there was no coaching, no learning on. So it just kind of carried over from that after I got out of the military.
Take me back. What do you remember your family saying about money when you were growing up?
Absolutely nothing.
Would you say your family was middle class, upper middle, lower middle? What would you describe it as?
I would say lower middle.
Okay.
I was raised mostly by my grandmother, and but I didn't have a want for anything. Even though money wasn't discussed, I always had what I needed when I needed it.
When did you go into the military?
I was 18.
Okay, so straight out of high school, you went to the military.
I actually pre-enlisted before I graduated from high school. I knew in my heart of hearts where I grew up at that I wasn't going to stay. If I would stayed there 2 years, 3 years, I would got caught up in drugs and I would have been dead.
Really? What part of the country, if you don't mind my asking?
St. Louis area.
All right. And did you have other family members who had been in the military?
Yes, my uncle, he served in the Navy.
Okay, cool. So you signed up, you go in. What was your first impression when you got there?
And the first time that I had ever had broccoli.
And what'd you think?
I'm like, oh, this is a neat food. I never had this before. It was eye-opening for me.
I bet.
Because in any military person in basic military training, you're in basic training with people from all over the world, all different aspects of life. So
what surprised you the most in those first few weeks?
The rigor and the discipline. During my career in the military, everything was very regimented. Nothing could get out of control, or you would be disciplined for it. It was very regimented. You knew where you're going to be, when you're going to be there, how long you're going to be there. And it was like clockwork. So that was very refreshing.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Wow. What did you love about it?
I didn't have to worry about where I was going to live, what I was going to eat, what I was going to put on. If I had money, I knew I was going to get paid every 2 weeks, regardless of the situation. So in a way that it's kind of like being, I won't say babysitted, because believe you me, being in the military is nothing like being babysitted. But there were things that I didn't have to worry about that my civilian counterparts have to worry about.
Right.
And then there was the opportunity to get educated, travel,
Uh-huh.
and make money as I progressed through the ranks.
Okay.
Mhm.
And did you plan to stay for a long time?
I did not.
Whoa.
I did not. I did. My plan was to do 4 to 8 years, save my money, and then go to college. But I got to travel, live in different parts of the country, and live in different parts of the world. And before I was 30 years old, I had lived in 3 different foreign countries.
Mhm.
So I saw a lot of the world.
You see it with Imani?
No, this was before we met. This is when I was in the military. At the 8 years, I was sold. I was in for the long haul.
How long did you stay in total?
Stayed in 20 years and 21 days.
Whoa. Is there something about 20 years?
That is when you're eligible during my period to retire with full retirement from the military.
Great. Okay, great. How long ago did you retire?
I retired in 1998, a whole different lifetime ago.
Wow.
Right.
No kidding. What'd you do after you retired?
I went into manufacturing. Basically the same skills and training that I got in the military had transferred over to the civilian sector, and I went into manufacturing, and I have been in manufacturing since 1998.
Wow. What did you think about the fact that as a civilian, you didn't have that structure that you used to have in the military?
It's interesting that you asked that because I remember my first civilian job, and I won't mention the company, but I had a manager when he did my performance review. He said that his frustration with me was that I worked very well off a list. And I was like, wait, what?
Like, it's like a fish being told you swim in water. You're like, huh?
Right. I was like, wait, what? And basically what he was trying to tell me is I need to be more, I guess, creative, innovative. And I got it.
Create, would there be another word there? He needed you to be more, maybe it starts with a P. P-R-O.
PRO, proactive. Yeah,
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Imani,
I
what do you
agree.
say?
I agree. I mean, I think that is exactly right. I could see him coming out being list driven, but he talks a lot about, he had to be so regimented when he was in the military, and now that he's out, no structure, right? Like it's just a hot mess express.
What'd you do with the money that you made in the military?
I will tell you that I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I did buy a couple of vehicles. Right after she would give birth, I go buy another vehicle. This was after I got out the military.
So you had 2 sons, and then you're like, I'm going to go buy a car.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing that was planned. Nothing that was discussed.
What, did you just like walk in and just buy it that day?
Basically, yes.
Holy, this is blowing my mind. I never bought a car. When I was growing up, it took us 1 week to buy a car. And that's when we knew the car we wanted. My dad would take us in there. We'd freaking have breakfast at the dealership. I'm not kidding. We would sit there, we'd negotiate, and then we'd literally go home and come back the next day. It was a family affair. All of us, the whole week.
That's amazing. Because Imani would call me and ask me where I was at, and I'd be like, I'm at the dealership. And then I would hear click.
Really?
Yes.
So this is like 20 years ago, 20 to 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Every time we made have a major life event, or like he said, every time we had a kid, he'd drive up in a new car. Look what I got.
What is that? What's the connection? Is it like a celebration?
I don't know.
I guess I kind of use it as a celebration. Hey, we got a new son. So we're gonna get a nice vehicle to take new son home in.
New vehicle. I prefer a Baskin Robbins cake.
Yeah.
$35. When I was a kid, we could never afford it. Let's get it now. Fantastic.
Hindsight being 2020, I agree.
Every so often, I visit a military base and speak to them about personal finances and careers. I remember one year they had this incredibly detailed minute-by-minute schedule. 0545, assemble for PT. 0545 to 0555, walk to PT. 0600 to 0700 PT, and so on. I loved it. I love the details, the logistics that had to happen in order for it to work that clearly. But I can also imagine what living in that kind of environment would have done to me long term. And this is a classic example of how a rigid, structured environment like the military can shape someone's mindset long after they leave. You get a steady paycheck, housing is covered, you know exactly where to be and when. There's a system for everything, including your money. But when you leave that structure behind, there's a major gap. And a lot of people simply do not replace that structure with anything. They go from a fully controlled environment to complete freedom. That word freedom, note how we describe it in America as if freedom is always a good thing. And that freedom can be overwhelming. I suspect that's what we're seeing with Michael. He says he's proactive at work, but at home he checks out. And because money was always handled for him through benefits and automatic deposits and the TSP, he never really had to build the skills to manage it himself. Now he's out of the military, 65 years old, and in financial trouble. And Michael is not the only retired veteran dealing with this. According to American Consumer Credit Counseling, nearly 3/4 of military families carry credit card debt, and they are twice as likely as civilians to owe $10,000 or more. Meanwhile, Imani is handling all of the day-to-day finances, and she's looking at her own future, realizing, I might not be able to retire because he's not stepping up. This is what happens when someone avoids building a system of their own. The default becomes, I'll just wait for someone else to handle it. And in a marriage, that simply does not work, or in my opinion, it should not work. They're not 25 years old, by the way. They don't have decades to figure this out. It has to happen now. What was it like to create the conscious spending plan together?
Oh, Ramit, this is what it was like. It was right here. This is how we did it.
Whoa, okay,
Right.
Pull that out. So I'm going to describe it for people listening, not watching. Imani's pulling out one of these big pieces of butcher paper, and it's got like a lot of categories and numbers, a lot. I mean, this is like 4 feet high. It's quite large and filled out, a lot of numbers. Okay. Which I'm seeing gross, net, I'm seeing assets and Apple credit card, etc. Okay, so you did it all on paper. Okay, I don't mind. Everybody does it their own way. And did you do it together?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
I guess he was going slower. I sometimes can get a little frustrated and I want things to move faster. And so I'll just take it and do it. I'm like, we just need to get this over with. But I was trying to be deliberate about letting him write the things down and see.
Well, I can tell you how I felt, Ramit. So as we're putting, all the categories in there and putting the numbers in there, things kept popping in my head. So, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot I got this coin set over here. Or I forgot that I have this account over here with this Bitcoin in it. So at some point for me, it kind of got frustrating because it's like, I got all this thing, but I don't have any control over it. It's just there.
Do you mean you have extra money that you were not accounting for, or extra expenses?
I have extra money that, like, I have these accounts set up that I have money in. Until I go into that account, I remember, I was like, oh, I forgot I had money in there. I'll open up a Bitcoin account.
Yeah.
Or a small stock trading account. And the money will be there, and I'll kind of just put it there and park it.
All right, let's take a look at the CSPS. All right, Imani, can you read off the word in bold and then the number in full next to it for the entire box, please?
Assets, 603,315. Investments, 770,031. Savings, 8,523. Debt, 601,468. Total net worth, 780,401.
What do you think about those numbers?
Terrible.
Why do you say that?
I feel like the investment number should be higher at our age. I feel like the debt number should be lower, much, much lower. I feel better than I felt. I thought it was going to be close to negative.
Quite a big difference between negative and $780,000.
I know.
I had the opposite reaction. I don't think I vocalized it with the Imani. When I saw that number, I went, damn. If I get rid of this, or if I wouldn't have done this, our net worth will be over $1 million easy. How can I get rid of some of the excess that we have in our household to push that number up?
Whoa. Okay. I'm already seeing you're going to make my job easier for me. I like that. Let's take a look at the gross monthly income. This time, Michael, I'd like for you to give me Combined gross monthly income number, please.
Okay, so gross monthly income number is 22,404.
All right. So combined, the two of you make $268,000 a year.
That's a lot of money that we could be leveraging better than we have been.
All right. Michael says a lot of money. What do you say, Imani?
It is. It's less than it was.
Uh-oh.
I took a pay cut.
Are we into depressing time already? I thought we were just talking about this number. What the hell's happening right now? Is this a lot of money or not?
It is a lot of money.
Stop right there. $268,000 a year is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. You are correct.
Okay.
It's less than we've had in the past, but yes, it is a lot of money.
Any kids living in the house?
Yes, we have 2 sons that are actually adults, but they still live here.
How old?
20 and 25.
Okay, fine. And all right, let's continue looking at the numbers here. Okay, we have a 401k contribution in here. Very nice. Fixed costs. Imani, what's that number right there?
It's 83%. That is why I feel broke.
Yeah.
And that is why I wrote in.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's the number that explains a lot of why you feel stressed out about money. That's one reason. Let's keep going. Investments at 1%. And of course, the 1% is a 529. A 529 for 20-year-olds? What? What's that about?
Okay, it has been there for a long time and I just haven't stopped it.
Why don't you do the same thing for your retirement?
You're right.
Oops, I tripped and fall and put $150 a month into my. How come nobody ever says that to me? All right. Savings at 7%. Okay. And we have $600 is going towards an emergency fund. $400 is something called separate savings. What's that?
Our separate savings accounts.
Okay. That's like your individual money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then your guilt-free spending suggests it's 9% or $1,400. I don't believe that. Do you?
I don't believe that either, no.
It's higher?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is the math not adding up?
Michael has, 10, 12 laptops, right? Or
what the 12 laptops?
yeah.
Just
I'm a tech nerd. Do I need 10 laptops? No, I don't. I would be perfectly fine with one laptop, sitting in the room with none of my electronics right now at this point. I've got to the point now where I've been able to do what I want to do for so long. It's kind of got me in trouble financially, but I still have those assets that I could get rid of it and recoup some of that and add back to that net worth.
All right. That's interesting. Okay. So you've had a conversation about could Michael sell some of his stuff? And Michael, sounds like you're actually interested in pushing that net worth number up.
Very much so.
The math isn't mathing.
I have a feeling it's right here. $601,000 of debt. Can you tell me what's in this debt?
Yeah. So I have.
Actually, can I ask Michael that? Michael?
So the mortgage is in there.
Mortgage is how much?
I think right now it's $295,000.
Okay.
298.
298. Yeah. Okay. 298. Okay.
What's next, Michael?
There's a HELOC loan. It might be 50,000.
The HELOC is 65.
Okay. From 50 to 65K. All right.
Imani's student loan.
Uh-huh.
I think that's 85,000. The automobiles, I would say 10,000 on a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I think Imani owes 35,000 on a vehicle.
Okay. 45K total. What else?
My consumer debt, I have a 401k loan that's 45. No, I'm sorry. It's not 45. It's 37.
Okay.
Then I also have credit card debt that's about 11.
Okay.
Michael, I think, has more. He's got closer to 60 or 70.
All right. Let's shoot for the stars. 70.
Okay. Let's say 70. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about all this debt?
I'm embarrassed.
It's terrible.
I'm embarrassed. I know better. And my dad, was going back to school and I totally changed careers. And that's the reason for my high salary. But I think the 401k loan was to consolidate. I did some things around the house. The HELOC includes a real estate investment that I made with someone. It'd be different If it was like all travel or something like that, I feel like I don't see the tangible for all the debt, right? And I want to be able to go on a cruise or go to somewhere without, having to put it on credit cards. And we're not in that position. And I feel embarrassed because we have friends that can do that, right? I was talking to one of our mutual friends, the wife, and she was out of work, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we have our savings and this and this and this." And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Good God, we would be in a mess." Right? I'd have to like cash out 401ks to make it work, or take on two or three jobs to make up the stagger. And so I'm embarrassed at my big old age, being in this kind of debt. I don't think debt is a problem, like if you're doing an investment or something like that, right? But the stuff we have to show for it is 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 frustrating and sad, and it makes me want to cry and scream and fight,
Hmm.
to be honest.
All right, I appreciate the candor. I would be frustrated too. If I was in my 50s and 60s, if I had a high income, and in fact used to have an even higher income, and like, where is it?
Right.
Where's the money? Yeah. And it can feel like insurmountable. It can feel like frustrating and hopeless. If you will give me the time, I would like to understand a little bit more about how we got here, because when I start to understand that, hopefully we can figure out a plan to get out of here. I don't like seeing couples in debt, certainly not in their 50s and 60s. So what do you say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Imani, take me back to you as a child. What do you remember your family saying about money when you were growing up?
My mama has always been always super good with money. Like, she had a budget. She shopped with lists. The dynamic in the house, my mom controlled the finances. And I remember her saying one time that my parents got married young, that they combined money, and my mom went in to get money, and my dad had spent her money, and she said that was it. They had separate accounts forever after that. My mama did not play that. Mama, very regimented with money, sent me to private school. To me, it was about the budget and about being responsible with money. So I feel like I know better and knew better.
What did she say to you about money?
She talked a lot about saving, right? We had our savings accounts, and she would take us to deposit money. Like, we had to, when we got things, we had to we could spend some, but we had to save some.
Great.
Right? It was always spend and save, spend and save. And we had our little bank books, and she got me my first credit card when I went off to college. She co-signed for it. I used it responsibly initially. So she taught me a lot about, writing down, buying stuff that you pay for, don't carry a lot of debt. She paid cash for everything. She saved up. She took us on trips. For my graduation present from high school, she took us to the Bahamas, my sister and I.
Wow.
And her best friend and her daughter. And we went to, for my 16th birthday, I went to Disney World, right? So, we took trips and we had money, and she taught us to be responsible. And somewhere along the line, I got lost.
Talk to me about that. Where was it that you got lost?
I think once I got married, like, I did pretty good with my finances when it was just me, because I bought a condo when I was single. Bought my first condo, bought my house. The first thing I bought with my first paycheck, I'll never forget, was a sectional sofa and a Coach bag.
Nice. How'd you feel?
Oh, I felt great. I still have that Coach bag. And my mother just got rid of that sectional sofa last year.
Wow.
And I bought that in 1997.
Wow.
So, I hold on to things.
What happened when you got married that caused your finances to deteriorate?
I just didn't stay as disciplined, right? I felt like because Michael was spending, I had to make it up, and I didn't want the kids to have to want for anything, wanted to get them all the things that they wanted or didn't want, or I thought they should have, wanted us to go on the trips. And, Michael was busy buying cars, and I'm trying to, do all the other stuff. And so I was using my money to send the kids to camp and, things like that. And so I felt like I lost the rigor and the discipline around money.
When did you realize you had a problem?
It was several years ago. We were there's another financial guru whose program we were trying to follow because I was like, oh, we'll get out of debt and it'll be great.
Wait, who is it? Just so we know.
Dave Ramsey.
I'm happy that anyone goes on any financial journey as long as they end up at the right place.
Yeah.
So you're welcome here. All right. So what happened when you started under that plan?
So I couldn't get Michael to go in with me. Like having Michael stick to a budget felt like pulling teeth, and it was work for me, right? Because the kids were young, so we were working shifts. I think I was on second, he was on third. So we were like shifts passing the night. We had a baby or a toddler and a elementary schooler. And so it was a lot to manage. And every day I wake up, I'm like, man, if we'd have followed it back then, right? We would have been debt free and living our best life and, all the baby steps and all that stuff. And we still on baby step number 0.
I'm struck by how Imani describes her relationship with money. She said, it used to be good when it was just me, then it was us. I suspect what's behind that is they've never had a series of substantive conversations about their relationship and money. Like many couples, they probably just slipped into it, dating, living together, kids, jobs, without ever stopping to establish plans and then to recalibrate them. And now they're surprised it's not working. Relationships don't run on autopilot, but most of us just slide right into some of life's most important decisions. Where should we live? If we have kids, what kind of parents do we want to be? How much money should we save and why? Most couples don't actually talk about these things. Believe it or not, most of us just coast until something goes wrong. So it starts to feel like you are constantly reacting to life because you actually are. Let's talk about the deeper issue. One partner grows, the other partner does not. Imani is clearly into personal growth. Remember, she said earlier she has dragged Michael to several coaches to tackle the very issue she wanted to talk about. She's clearly ambitious. She changed careers later in life. So the hard question becomes, have you outgrown your partner? This is an uncomfortable conversation, but it's very real, and there's actual data to back it up. A major Swedish study found that after bariatric surgery designed to help people lose significant weight, married people were more likely to get divorced. Another study showed that women who won the lottery were more likely to end their marriages shortly after. This is one of the reasons that when I was dating, one of the top 3 things I was looking for was someone who was into self-development. I knew I was, and I knew that over the course of my life, I would change and I would grow. And I wanted someone who already had built that into their own life. And once you start growing, you want your partner to grow too. And I see it all the time. The person who has finally learned about money, they start offering advice to their partner and they get increasingly frustrated that their partner just ignores it. But be honest and think back to 3 years ago, 5 years ago. If someone had told you then, you got to use a CSP, you got to automate your finances, you probably would have rolled your eyes too. That is the side of personal development that very few people talk about. You can grow faster than your partner, and they may never develop the same interest that you did. So what do? Have you talked about it? Not hinted, not fought. I mean a series of real honest conversations about how your life is changing and what it means for your relationship. Why it's important to you. If this sounds familiar, if you are feeling something right now in your chest or in your stomach and you're going, oh my God, I think that might be me, then I want to encourage you to join my money coaching program. It is designed to help couples like you stop spinning in circles, stop feeling like you have a wedge between you, and actually start building a life together. Here's why it works. Money coaching does not just focus on the numbers, although we will help you understand your own finances. We dive into the psychology behind your financial decisions and the dynamics of your relationships. You're going to learn how to have actual productive conversations, how to align on your goals, even if you see things differently, and how to create a plan that works for both of you. Plus, you'll have personal access to me during monthly coaching calls and a supportive community to hold you accountable. Imagine just having at least 1 hour a month where the two of you are talking about money in a guided format. Now, you can come solo or you can bring your partner to the program. Either way, I know that it's going to help you. So if you are ready to start building your rich life together, join Money Coaching You can sign up at iwt.com/money coaching. I'll put the link in the description below as well. Does it feel hopeless now? Like we didn't follow it 20 years ago, so it's pointless to even start now?
No, definitely not pointless. As long as you have breath in your body and air in your lungs and in life, no, there's always tomorrow, right? There's always the best time to start is now. And we're not as far behind. Like, again, listening at all the people that you've talked to on your podcast, I'm like, ooh, we're not in that bad a shape, right? Like, there's a way to turn this around. We just got to
I agree.
both be willing to do it, because I'm tired. I'm tired of being the one to feel like I feel like I'm pulling Michael all the time. And I am tired. And I want Michael to retire. I don't want him to have to keep working forever. I want us to be like, oh, let's go, let's take a sabbatical. Like, I want to go frolic around Europe, right? I want to go, do all those things. But
Michael, are you surprised hearing Imani share this?
We've discussed it before, probably not to this level, but again, I could sense the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when she told me, hey, we're going to be doing this with Ramit. I was actually kind of relieved.
That actually doesn't surprise me, though, Michael.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because this is yet one more way of delegating work from you to somebody else, in this case, me. Do you want somebody to just tell you what to do with the money?
I'm looking for advice.
Great. I love that.
I'm not looking for anybody to do the work. I'll put the work in. You just tell me which direction I need to be going in versus what I think.
Beautiful. You're here to play ball. That's great. That's what I want to say. Okay.
This is my vision or my goal, is to link or connect with someone that I can trust to kind of manage the money and make sure that it goes in the right places, that it has some element of debt reduction, but at the same time, some element of investment. Whereas you're reducing debt, your net worth is increasing. Like a money manager that manages your household finances.
You want someone who will reduce your debt, increase your net worth, and you stay pretty hands off.
No, I will monitor it, but somebody that knows a lot more about investing money, somebody that knows a lot more about what's the best way to reduce an X number amount of debt. I don't have that knowledge to do that.
Now, let me ask you, Michael, because you all spoke to at least one money coach, if not more. Presumably, they talked to you about debt. What happened as a result of that?
I would say that I didn't have the discipline and rigor.
Mm-hmm. Do you now?
Yeah, because it's affecting my wife, and I can see that it's affecting her. So,
what about you?
Me? Oh yeah, definitely. And I know we're gonna get to this, but my rich life right now is, if I could sell everything I had and sit in a room with just a book and a Mai Tai, that would be my rich life.
What? Really? I never heard that on this podcast. It makes my life so easy. Is this for real?
Yeah, I'm serious.
What the hell? Hold on. Turn that camera around for a second. Show me what's in this room right now.
Well, so right now I'm remote. I work remote.
Oh, okay. Will you send me a picture of like the 10 laptops and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, and more. You'll be, like you say, you'll be like, what the
Okay. Boom. I love that.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope you shock me. All right. That's good.
Yeah, when I look at when you say assets, I think there's more there than what that figure shows, just on what I have in the household.
Like computers and stuff?
Computers. One time I was heavy into music, so I have some pieces.
Imani, any surprises hearing what Michael just told us?
Absolutely. I said what just like
Really?
you did.
What surprised you?
The whole, if Michael's saying if he could sit in a room with just a book, I absolutely do not believe it. I absolutely do not. Unless something changed in the last couple of weeks, I don't believe it, because to me, the way you spend your money is what you value, right? And I get being a tech head. I understand wanting to have a hobby. I do. I get it, right? Because there are things that I like, right? I love Converse sneakers. I have 20 pairs, but Converse don't cost $1,000. a pop,
Mm.
right? And so, you know, I understand that Michael is concerned about, me packing up and leaving. Or he says stuff to like, you gonna put me out? It has crossed my mind a time of 3 or 4 or 5.
Hold on.
Right?
Is this a joke or is this serious?
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
We've had that conversation, and he'll say that.
I don't joke about divorce with my wife. Ever. Never. Ever. I just want to understand, is this like has this joke gone on for a long time? Is there a cultural thing that I'm missing here? Because like I also don't know any Indian couples that joke about ever. And I just want to understand because it to me is like quite serious.
That's interesting. I think part of it is culture. When you say Imani,
Maybe. For me, I mean, I think we're joking most of the time, but Michael, there are times where I'm serious. Like there was one time where I considered taking my purse and my keys and our youngest son and walking out.
I can see that. I can see that. I knew that it was getting to that point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why I wrote in, because I'm at my wit's end, right? Like I don't want to keep doing this.
Okay. It's serious. All right. We all agree something big has to change.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Michael, are you at all worried about not being able to retire?
I would be remiss if I say that I wasn't. Realistically, do I think I ever will retire? I would say as far as full-time work, yes, moving away from full-time work and going into consulting.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point in my career, as long as I've been doing it, as long as I've been certified in it, I've received, I would say that I'm at a certain level of mastery for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So based on my experiences, my education, the different Fortune 500 companies that I work for, I believe there will always be consultant work for me to do.
Okay. All right. Do you believe that you'll die with your debt?
My goal is not to. Is it a realistic goal? It's going to be a stretch. So if I look at my current savings in my 401ks, if I stay on that trajectory in my 401ks, they will exceed my debt that I currently carry. My main concern is what do I leave my family?
Well, no. That's many people, especially men, they see themselves as a provider, and they will often first they start off by taking on work so they can provide for their family. Often they might be earning good money. They spend a lot of money sometimes too. They're not often like tightly interwoven with the finances. That's what's happened here. Maybe they rack up debt, maybe not. But eventually, when I ask them questions about their own financial situation, they often appear relatively nonchalant. It's okay. Like, I'll be fine. I can consult, etc. But the thing I care about is passing it on to my kids. I'm actually concerned about the fact that you're passing on an example that it's okay to be in tons of debt. You could give them a big old check. They'll just burn it like you've burned it.
Good point.
So the most valuable thing, in my opinion, you could pass on would not be $25,000 or $250,000, but rather an example of what it looks like to be effective with money. To me, that is generational wealth first. How does that strike you?
I think it's point on.
Michael, your answer was, in my opinion, not particularly inspiring and not a great answer. Because I was like, are you concerned about not being able to retire? You were like, well, I'll be able to work. What I'm concerned about is like giving something to my kids. I'm like, wait, so we just skipped over from you being in your 60s to dying. What about the rest of your life? No joy, no travel, no nothing? Huh?
I'd like to try. I'd like to travel to some of these.
Where? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, that part.
that
part right there.
All right. So there's problems here. Okay. And, just to summarize what I saw, we have since childhood, no talking about money. developmental years, you know, in your teens and 20s and 30s, it was like somebody else basically handled for me whatever money I made. Maybe I'm saving a little, but I'm spending a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Enter the civilian world and just like spending a ton of money. And
Yeah.
after 20, 30 years, I have tons of debt in a very complex system that does not make it easy to talk about it. By the way,
Yep.
I also don't really talk to my wife about these numbers.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Imani, you know, I'm curious. You mentioned wanting to travel. You mentioned things like a sabbatical. I wonder for a second if you can just tell me, like, I bet you've thought about your rich life. What is it?
Oh, absolutely. It is going to Europe for 3 months at a time or going to an island, right? Just saying, hey, guys, let's go, right? Let's go spend time frolicking. I want to go frolic, right? I have worked hard, damn hard. Went back to school in my 40s with 2 kids and a full-time job and a husband and a household. Went back to law school, right? And did that
Damn.
and switch careers. I did that in 2015 to 2019.
That is insane. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm no stranger to hard work, but at this time, you know, when I envisioned my life as a child, at this point, I would be wealthy, right? I'd be able to own my time.
Yeah.
And not be a slave and have on golden handcuffs. I want my investments to work for me, and I want to go and travel to all the places and go to the premieres, and I want to go to cons and to Martha's Vineyard and all those things, right? I want to do the bougie people's stuff.
All right. I hear you. I like that. It's what I especially like is that you've come on a journey, and I like that you have a vision. It's obvious you've thought about this, which gets, I can tell it's exciting to you. It gets me excited. Michael, how do you feel hearing that?
Well, I'm excited for her. I think that's a worthy goal. She's worked hard, and I think she deserves that.
And do you want to go to some of those places too?
Sure. I mean, I traveled early in life. Before I was 30 years old, I had lived in 3 different foreign countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a lot of the world.
You see it with Imani?
No, this was before we met. This was when I was in the military. And I did a little trouble after I got out of the military. So I think she deserves the opportunity to be able to do that because I got to do it on Uncle Sam's dime.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Michael, what's your rich life?
My rich life is to declutter, get rid of some of the material things that I have.
I don't believe you.
I'm serious. I'm so done with it.
But wait, when, okay, if this is true, maybe I'm wrong. When was the last time you did a semi-serious declutter?
Ooh, I think we've done 2 in the garage. We actually paid somebody to come in and assist us in it.
Okay.
Again, it didn't stick.
So your rich life is to declutter and
Get rid of this debt.
Okay.
And just simplify life. Just really have a simple life. I have more than I deserve.
Okay. I'm going to help you come up with an even more powerful vision of a rich life. Okay. Imani, I see you nodding over there. How come?
Because I feel like everything that he says, I don't know if it's because he's looking at the effect of things on me, right? I want Michael to have a vision of his rich life. Like you talked about, I want to travel and all that, and he didn't say that, right? And so for me, it feels like he's like, oh, I've lived my life and I've traveled the world. You go do that by yourself. And I don't want to do life by myself. If I want to do life by myself, then I'll just go do life by myself. I wouldn't have wrote into this program. I would have just said, you know what? I'm over it. I'd have cashed out part of my 401k, paid off my debt, take my children and just go.
Wow. Hearing the contrast between their rich life visions is honestly heartbreaking. And the layers here are striking. Michael and Imani's vastly different experiences with money growing up and how they manage it today, and mostly how they envision their futures. Now, I see a generational issue here as well. Michael's backstory reveals an upbringing that did not encourage him to dream beyond survival. It was earning an income, landing on his feet, and I want to account for his background, but I also don't want to let it distract from the larger issue. Another striking layer here is the prototypical gender dynamics at play. Imani, she's got this bold, vibrant vision of travel, adventure, a rich life full of wants, things that she wants to see. Meanwhile, Michael's dream is solitary, a book, a Mai Tai, and leaving money for the kids. Personally, as a man in my 40s who has seen other men shrink and increasingly not want to hang out with friends, increasingly only talk about things like a man cave, and even say things like, I hate people. I don't really want to hang around anybody anymore. This leaves me really sad and disconnected. I am urgently fighting against that. I am creating guys trips. I'm trying to hang with more friends. And from Imani's perspective, if that were my partner, it would honestly make me feel hopeless. And to make matters even more frustrating, he seems to be responsive to another man's advice, but not his own wife's. Imani has said point blank, she's considering leaving, and I believe her. If you can't even agree on what a rich life looks like by this point in life, what are the chances they can actually make the huge changes needed? We are going to answer that question in a very surprising part 2 next week. Not only are we going to finish this conversation, but I sent Imani and Michael away and had them come back with actual changes, and you are going to see what happens. Specifically, where I shared some actual scenarios from our partners at Facet around exactly what they need to do if they want to reach their retirement goals. Will they do it? Will they even come back? What surprising things will they have done? Trust me, you will not want to miss next week's part 2. Facet is an SEC registered investment advisor. Investing involves serious risk, and past performance is not a guarantee of future performance or success. I'm not a member of Facet. I have an incentive to endorse Facet as I have an ongoing fee-based contract for cash compensation based on this endorsement. My opinions are included and should not be interpreted as a recommendation or research regarding any investment or investment strategy, legal, or tax advice. If you want my help with your specific money questions, you can apply to be on this podcast at iwt.com/apply, or you can become a member of my money coaching program instantly at iwt.com/moneycoaching. In money coaching, you get access to monthly calls where I answer your questions directly on a private call, and I get the chance to go much deeper on the concepts of money that have made a huge change in my life. Plus, you'll get access to a community of other people like you who will inspire you and push you to live your rich life. Check out money coaching at iwt.com/moneycoaching.